Wednesday morning, the 5th of April 2017. I'm in Reutte in Austria, and yesterday evening I went here. Alpentherme, I would say the best sauna I have been to in my life, with a variety of rooms, with a fantastic view. We have the mountains here, we have the castle at the top of the hill, there's a castle part way down the hill, and there's another castle on the other side of the hill. And between the valley, above the valley I should say rather, there's this Skyliner Bridge which you can walk across. It's 114 meters above the valley floor, and you can see that while sitting in the swimming pool, which in my case, yesterday it started to rain. I like that feeling of being in the pool when it starts to rain. Outstanding, really brilliant sauna facilities there. And now to have a quick walk around Reutte itself. No, the weather's not brilliant. It's 5 days ago I was walking, not so far from here, in the Alps, and one stage I was up by myself and took my shirt off. I thought, get a bit of vitamin D on my body, that'll do me the world of good. And now I've got 3 layers on and I'm still cold. In fact, it's even cold holding the camera. Snow has been forecast for tomorrow, so from walking around with no shirt on to snow, and the temperature range has dropped by 20 degrees really, and the height is roughly the same. It's not much difference. Now from here you can possibly see the bridge across the valley. That is the ancient Via Claudia. It's a trading route founded by Drusus around the 15 BCE, something like that, but built by his son, who to everyone's surprise became the emperor, Claudius. If you've seen I, Claudius, you can see Drusus and Claudius, the relationship in that brilliant TV production. Of course it's fiction, but it's really good. Made in 1976, and I think, in my opinion, it's the best TV series that there has ever been. That's my opinion, but I think lots of people think the same thing as well. To the right, got Lidl, so I'll be taking my van in there a little bit later just to photograph it, as I often do. Now let's have a look at the other mountains around Reutte. And what a pity, today it's so overcast and the weather isn't as it was over the past really 2 weeks. We had fantastic weather. I was in Izny in Allgäu I should say. I'm going to start using the proper words. I use the German pronunciation, not the English pronunciation. And there, those days I was sitting at the duck pond by the city walls, next to the motorhome there, and it was outstanding. There's McDonald's. Five years ago I went to Hungary in my camper, and a friend said to me, you want to see Tesco in Poprad, there's no better view from a Tesco. I got to Poprad then walking around, but I didn't find Tesco. I should look on the internet I suppose, but anyway, there wasn't so much internet then as there is now. But how about that for a view? Now, is this the Lidl with the best view? Well, I'll wait for suggestions. I filmed Lidl in Interlaken in February, but I'd even say perhaps that this is a better view than the one there. Now, coming round, or somebody else taking a photograph, coming round, we can see the price of diesel. Diesel in Austria, well, it's 113, or if you want petrol, it's 120, 130, which is roughly the same price as it is in Germany. There used to be a time you'd come to Austria and you'd stack up on fuel here. When I drove my very long journey, which was from Sicily to eastern Poland, and in Italy, even the border areas, I had to pay 166 a litre, and then got into Austria and it was 133. It's now significantly cheaper. I have to point out though, in Luxembourg, 2 months ago I paid 102, and international prices, I think, if anything, have actually fallen since then. So Luxembourg's the place to buy fuel. There's other places you can buy it where you can get to it, like Gibraltar, Channel Islands, but that's a bit more difficult. Similar prices there. Austria is actually cheaper, though, than the Czech Republic. And here it looks like it's an old age home for caravans. Mural dating from 1535. Or maybe the mural doesn't date from 1535, but the date on it does. Now if you look in the description, there will be a link to where I've written more about the history. When I'm out filming, I make mistakes. I get things sometimes confused or something like that. And then it's a devil of a job trying to take out the bits which I got wrong. So, therefore, if I write it down, I can change it when I want. Now, this is a trading town in its origin. It was a place where the toll was paid for people who were travelling here from other places, particularly in the salt business, but there was other things as well being handled. Now, I know that between 80 and 100 wagons were passing through the Oberjoch Pass, which is today in Germany, it's bang on the Austrian border though, and so they had to come the same way. And there we have a horse team with a wagon, although in places the road was so narrow that horses could only go up one at a time, so you'd have maybe 3 horses pulling, but the horses would be behind each other. And there we have a date of 1777 on this Gast house, which could then have been used as such, although people coming this way, just off the Via Claudia, often they had to stay the night where the toll was paid, so therefore they wouldn't have stopped here so much. Now we have the black eagle, Schwarzer Adler. There are eagles here. There's a route you can actually go and see them, a walking route. However, it's closed now because of the snow. So it shows you how high it is. Let's turn around and see this magnificent looking building. And here we have the railway station, which is pretty big for a town of 7,000 people. But of course, that 7,000 multiplies in season. It's a 2-season town. Now it's really just outside of the season because it's April. So you have the winter season and the summer season. Oh, and there's the milk place. And I might go and have a look and see what they've got. Oh, that's from here. We've got the tourist information office here on the left, and they're very helpful. So next to the tourist office you've got a car park. You're allowed a certain amount of free parking here, but then you have to pay. But there's plenty of places where you don't have to pay at all. For a motorhome it's too small, so you have to find a different place. Unless you've got one of these smaller motorhomes, which I'm always going on about. Here we have a fountain, and you can see it's from 1907. There are quite a lot of these fountains in the Allgäu, in this area of Austria, I'm sure in many other places as well. And this one was removed, but it was kept somewhere, and in 1989, to mark the 500th anniversary of Reutte, it was returned to its original position. There we have the Gastos Morin. It was founded in 1765 by one Josef Wagner. Now here we have the Gastos Morin, which dates to at least 1765. Know that because the then owner, Josef Wagner, was mentioned in the council minutes, and right next to it we've got this building called the Tauscher House, which originates in the 18th century, and it's got a fresco on it showing Mary, that's the mother of Jesus, under the gables, which dates to 1780 and was created by the Baroque painter from Reutte, Johann Jakob Zieler, and the house has been named after its former owner, Karl Ludwig Teutscher, who was 1827 to 1897, and he was the mayor of Reutte as well as being a business person. And since 1930 this house has been owned by the town. But coming out here we've got this Zielerplatz, and we have a house which was, these places, this town based on the salt business, and so there was one of these buildings here which was storing salt. It was the Duke Sigmund. In 1471 he allowed this to happen, so a storage bit of wood was built here. In 1712 this building built of stone came into being. And here, this building in front of me right now is the Zieler House, which survived the fires. Now the town is only as big as this last fire, and there were two major fires, 1703, 1704. It was pretty bad look for the inhabitants, really. Frescoes on these houses, also by Zieler. This is called the greenhouse for obvious reasons. It's where the local museum is, and the museum has things related to life in bygone times, and we can see more frescoes, probably by the same Mr. Zieler, and including that of the Holy Trinity, which is up there. And we've got some window railings. Don't quite know what to call them when you see them, but they date to about 1800, and I've heard them called window baskets in the past. I don't quite know why they call that. Maybe flowers or something like that. Brewery Gastos Morin, which date to around 1800 or thereabouts. And another mural there. Although I doubt Mr. Seiler did that one. Here we have the rather unusually named golden red deer, goldener Hirsch. So, in 1615, Christoph Seiler, who was father of the painter whom I've already mentioned, he bought the wine tavern for his rather large family. And it stayed in the family for over 100 years. Another family bought it. And the brewing business continued there until 1906, although it's changed hands several times since then. Yeah, another unusually named building, the Golden Bell. Lots of golden things around here. Coming up a little bit further, we have what's called the Dengel House. But I'll walk a bit closer to get a better view of that. This building is called the Dengel House. And it was built in 1704 by Johann Amann, who made his money in the salt business, as many people did around here. And the building stayed in his family in 1780. And they used it as a guest house. And it was then bought by another people who went in the beer business, and they were so rich that they commissioned the facade of the building around 1800, and the sort of rather imperial style for the time, Habsburgish I would call it, and since then it's been various other families as well. By the town, it was actually inherited, I should say, by the town. So it was put in someone's will in 1955, but only as long as the town used it for cultural purposes. There we have what is called the community hall. Maybe I should call it the town hall, I don't really know. But that the buildings exist on the site as a granary since 1491, but it was used in later times as a place for the town council to meet. And now, there was a tree here, an enormous one, which possibly dated from the 15th century. It grew so big that by 1947 they had to chop it down. And on the 500th anniversary of the town, this one here was planted. So this one here is now 28 years old. Pity though, a lime tree that was so old had to be chopped down. From here I should be going in the direction of Garmisch, and that will take me past Klause. Now Klause looks very attractive, although unfortunately being overcast as it is at the moment, then it wouldn't be as nice as it would be were the sun out. And there's somebody from Coca-Cola stopped for me to let me past. Now if you'd known some of the things I've said about Coca-Cola, I dare say they'll run me down. That was a little joke there. Particularly as the police are here. And this was used as a market square, in fact, place for public meetings in olden days. It's called Obermarkt, so I suppose that's what you'd expect. And these buildings along here are sort of the district authority. The court is the building behind me. And there we have another metal fountain. There's no date on it, but I would suspect late 19th century, maybe the first decade of the 20th century. That would be my guess. Now, court building, and the police are down there as well, as I pointed out earlier. Right is the Church of St. Andrews. replaced the church that was burnt down in the fire of 1703. And there was another fire in 1846 which destroyed its Baroque features. Just goes to show you don't have too many fires. And you travel around Austria and southern Germany, I've noticed that every small village has got an enormous fire station. And even today, for example, travelling around Silesia, which is now in Poland, you can still see it, that these old German fire stations are still around. This highly ornate building, this is one of my favourite buildings in Reutte. It dates to around 1500. It was built by local hunters, and you can't really get much of the flavour of that any longer, I would say anyway. It's my opinion there. Destroyed by fire, of course, in 1703, built again in 1710. So I've been prowling around Reutte now for the last 2.5 hours or so. On the other side of this wall is the cemetery. But now I'm going to walk back to my van and I'm going to have something to eat, possibly. I haven't made my mind up yet because I'm still on a fast and it'll be almost 24 hours, and then I'm going to walk up to the mountain. So perhaps before I walk up the mountain, I'll have something to eat. And what I'm thinking of doing is getting some bread. I don't tend to eat bread much, but I do fancy some dark Austrian bread. I've got some local butter, well, local, I've got an Algo, and I think that I'll make myself a nice cup of British tea and stick some milk in it. And that's not the sort of thing you should be eating if you're on attempting to do a ketonic fast, but that's what I'm going to have. I suspect it will mean, however, that I'll have to eat again this evening. You know, it's like in your van, sometimes you get in a position and you can't park the thing. Well, I think this poor lorry driver here, that's really tough. Well, I wouldn't do it. Well, full marks to him there. I'll just get out and let someone else drive the thing in. I'm very glad to note that the price of diesel has come down in the time that I've been out. So I left here, it just gone 8 this morning. So it's, what, nearly 3 hours later, and cost of diesel's come down. And let's hope that that's going to be a trend which will continue. Nice van, boasting it, Viseo, and you can see my video on the Boasting Viseo in another film, of course. So I'm coming back to the thermal baths where I left my van. I cannot praise this place highly enough. It was really outstanding. Now, I noticed that on the Google reviews, or maybe it was Facebook reviews, or somebody's reviews anyway, somebody complained or said that the water wasn't as warm as it is in other places. I'm unable to confirm that or not, I don't know. I've got so limited experience. But what I would say is, you can see the steam coming off the swimming pool now. For me, it was okay. I didn't have a problem with that. I thought it was great actually being in the swimming pool. It was raining. I suspect the outside temperature was what, 4 or 5 degrees, and for me, well, okay, I don't know, maybe if I'm a bit tougher or whatever than others, I don't know, I'm unable to say that. So you've got these slides as well, which I never actually used. I used the outdoor pool and these sauna buildings, which you can see from the outside. And my favourite was one where it had an open fire. Well, sorry, it was an open fire. It was a real fire. It was closed with glass, but it was so warm in there. It's quite incredible that it gave off so much heat. This one fire. And when in the pool though, and looking at the views of the mountains, that was really outstanding. And I'm also grateful for the fact that I could actually leave my van here overnight. So when I got out of that, added to that hike over the mountain I did, I was pretty tired. So that was really good. Now, I'd say something about the campsites. There's a campsite at Klause, which I believe will be opening around now. I wrote to them and they asked me to write back. I did write to the local campsite here in Reutte, which is not so far from where I'm actually standing now, and they couldn't be bothered to respond. So the point here is that if you're going to use a campsite, use the one in Klause, and you can park around town. It's unfortunate I have to say this about a campsite, but at the end of the day, I don't want sort of people writing to me and complaining that they can't find somewhere to stay. Now, leaving your van here, I'm sure they don't mind if you come in and use their facilities, which incidentally, by the time you pay for a campsite anyway, it's not a lot of difference. But they wouldn't want you here, I suppose, long term, unless you were going in every single day. So I'm back at my van. I often come back to the van and say, oh, it was a quick walk around somewhere, but that was a 3-hour walk around. I wasn't filming all the time, but I feel quite good for the walk, and well, great to be here. There's a last look at the thermal baths, which I heartily recommend.